Was out the last few weeks covering the Eagle Creek fire. Now we should talk about that because that's still a big deal. The rain that we've had back here, has been very helpful as far as fire containment goes, but it's causing, of course, landslide issues. So it's kind of a mixed bag there. We want to check in with Dawn Stender. She is a public information officer out in Hood River, a PIO on the Eagle Creek fire. Dawn, we want to welcome you this afternoon to our show. And why don't you start off with talking about how the rain is affecting the fire?
Yeah, hi. Well, thanks for having me here. I think most people are aware that one of the most significant things we're experiencing is just the rock fall, falling trees, some landslides that have begun. And then, of course, the thing we've all been waiting for is just the fact that rain is really helping to put out the hot spots and significantly diminish the growth of the fire.
Where are we at, Dawn, in terms of containment, and how has that changed since the rain started?
Yeah, so today we're at 46% containment. I believe yesterday we were at 32%, so that's a pretty significant increase that we're really happy about. And then some other exciting news to report, just in a context of how much the fire is growing or not growing. In 6 hours, we saw 4 feet of movement, which, is very, very minimal, and that's expected to decrease even further over the next few days. So we're feeling really confident and really happy about what we're seeing out there.
I was going to say, you mentioned the landslides and the rock slides, but all in all, rain at this time is certainly still more of a positive than a negative, correct?
Yeah, and it's obviously bringing its own set of issues and safety concerns. But with respect to, putting this fire out and checking those hot spots, the rain is our best ally right now.
Dawn, in terms of total area covered by the flames at this point, I know last week we were talking about, 33,000 acres, about 10% of the gorge. What are we looking at now in terms of damage there, fire damage?
Yeah, the update that we received this morning is that it's at 48,665 acres, and I can imagine there'll be some really minimal growth, but I think we can be confident that it's not going to increase by too much.
And Dawn, are there any other updates with road closures, specifically with I-84, getting the lanes fully open on the interstate?
Yeah, that's a great question. I know everyone's really anxious for that highway to get open. That's all decided by Oregon Department of Transportation. They realize the impact that's had on commerce and communities, the folks that live in Cascade Locks. So at this time, I don't have any new news for you. I know they're doing what they can, and with the rains and the rock fall and logs and all that falling down, that's unfortunately going to hamper the progress that they're able to make. But safety is going to always be the priority. So right now, I don't have any updates for you on that, but hopefully we will soon.
I know crews are working hard to get that fully opened.
TripCheck.com, always a good resource.
Yeah.
TripCheck.com in terms of following that situation.
And I know we're talking about a large lot of land, but generally speaking, for those who obviously haven't been up to the gorge since the fires began, can you give us an idea of what the gorge looks like now compared to what it looked like a month ago even?
Yeah, that's a great question. I certainly haven't gotten my eyes on the entire perimeter area of the fire. I did get to do a flight the other day over part of the fire, and what I saw is exactly what you'd expect in a fire like this. There's certainly areas where the fire burnt pretty hot, and the trees got hit pretty hard. But I think it's really important to remember that there are areas where the trees are still green, still lush, and the fire burned a nice, what we call mosaic pattern, so it got rid of some of that brush, those low ground fuels. So it's going to be a very diverse landscape in terms of how the fire affected it. But I really would, we all want folks to remember that it's not all completely destroyed by any means.
Absolutely, Dawn. Thank you so much for your thoughts this morning and those updates you offered. I did want to say I came through the gorge on Sunday coming back from Spokane because the westbound lanes were open, and it is exactly what she said. You could almost see the mosaic even from the roadway, but you also saw how close it came to those eastbound lanes, and it was unbelievable. Burned out trees right along the guardrail. Wow. So you understand the concern they have in terms of those trees falling, but still so much green and beauty out there.
And I know that as said, the rain is definitely a help. So
there is a local group